Do I need to do anything?
All right, and hot off the line here, we have the women's varsity 4 semifinal 1. In lane 1, Oregon. Lane 2, Virginia Tech. Lane 3, Northwestern. Lane 4, Lafayette. Lane 5, Florida State. And lane 6, University of Rhode Island. So again, these are the varsity 4s now. So a little bit more experience in these 4s. We are past the breakage point, and once we get that overhead shot or get another camera angle, then we will give you the places as soon as we can see them.
All right, and now that we have kind of a clearer shot of the action, this is number 1 of 2 semifinals. With the varsity 4, the top 3 boats will advance to the grand final. The remaining 3 will move on to the petite level finals. In the first place position, we're going to look to lane 4. That is Lafayette. So Lafayette already with quite a substantial lead here in this varsity 4. They're sitting with just a little bit of open water over Florida State out of lane 5. Florida State 2 seats over lanes 3, Northwestern, with Oregon, or excuse me, that would be Virginia Tech right next to them. So Northwestern and Virginia Tech even. Back in 5th, it will be University of Rhode Island, and then Oregon in the 6th place position. But wow, Lafayette with really a statement here in this first 500 meters.
Now, we've talked multiple times here about how great a lot of these novice boats look, and they've been really, really impressive. Now, I have to say, you can see the difference a little bit in these novice and varsity 8s. So these varsity, the varsity 4s. And the varsity 4s look really composed here, and I'm excited to see what happens in the second half. Now, looking at these 4s again, what do you notice are some of the differences between the novice 4s and the varsity 4s? What do you see at a championship level race?
I think that one of the things that really stands out is a level of composure. There tends to not be as much scrambliness. So by composure, I just mean poise, confidence a lot of the time that's going to come with experience. Although I will say that quite a few of these crews, even though they're rowing in a varsity boat, this is their first year rowing. So we're really all over the map in terms of level of experience. But the goal in rowing at the varsity level is that you row with a sense of maturity. And you can see that very often with kind of the more calm and relaxed view. And this is the misperception in general of rowing. So those of you standing on the shoreline or maybe even watching on the live stream say, oh, this looks so easy. It just looks so beautiful and relaxed. And that looks like so much fun. Oh, and it's just torture. It's hell when you're in the boat and your legs are on fire and your lungs are on fire. So it is, it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors here. To make it look easy, it's hard. Right, and a little bit of an update here for you. Lafayette continuing to hold on to that top spot. They have about a seat of open water over Florida State. Florida State looking really strong and with about a length of open water advantage over the rest of the field. So the next closest competitor to them will be in lane 2. That is Virginia Tech. So Virginia Tech in 3rd. Right now looking at a challenge coming from University of Rhode Island and Northwestern. So again, the spot that really is going to be in contention is going to be for that 3rd place position. So we'll keep our eyes on Virginia Tech, Northwestern, and URI. Oregon continuing in 6th in lane 1. All right, and taking a review of the heats from yesterday in the women's varsity 4, indeed, Lafayette with the fastest time by about 3 seconds over the rest of the field. Sometimes it's hard to compare heat to heat because of changing conditions and because of the competition. A boat might push a little bit harder or not have to push quite as much, so you don't necessarily see the true speed of a boat just by looking at their times in the heats. But right now, Lafayette proving that the win in their heat was definitely deserved. So they are looking at a considerable lead right now over Florida State. And then let's take a look who's going to push themselves into that third qualifying position for the grand final. All right, so as this race shapes up, final 250 meters, Lafayette with that walk-away lead, they are looking at about 2 lengths of open water between themselves and Florida State. Florida State looking at a little bit of open water over Virginia Tech. So Virginia Tech looking strong in that third place position, but then also University of Rhode Island on the outside. They could still be in contention for that third place position. Keep your eye on lane 5, keep your eye on lane 2. Excellent racing here by Lafayette as they come into their final strokes. Final 5 strokes for them. It will be their bow first across the line, followed by Florida State, and then indeed Virginia Tech into that third place position. University of Rhode Island in 4th, followed by Northwestern, and then finally Oregon.
All right, about 3 minutes in to this women's varsity 4 semifinal. This is the second semifinal here. We have a little bit more of a spread, but let's start with lane 1. That is Florida. Lane 2, Vanderbilt. Lane 3, Northwestern State. Lane 4, Colorado. Lane 5, Bowdoin. Lane 6, Washington State. And again, we're going to give you some places here in just a second as we get this view. And it's looking like Bowdoin in first here, but still connected by Colorado. That will be in lane 4, Colorado lane 4, followed by lane 3, Northwestern State. And pretty tight race here between the let's see, what is that? Lane 6 and Washington State lane 6 and Vanderbilt in lane 2. So pretty tight race. Hard to tell who's actually ahead there. And we're going to follow that up with lane 6, and that is Florida. So we'll see a little bit more of a spread here 4 minutes in, but we do have our two leaders looking like Bowdoin and Colorado still connected. Colorado kind of walking up. I don't know. We'll see. They are still connected again, 4:15 in. And we'll be back with more in just a minute.
All right, and all crews are coming up to the 1,000-meter line. Yesterday in the heats, Colorado had the second fastest time out of all of the heats, right there behind Lafayette. And then Bowdoin with, I want to say the third or the fourth fastest time. So they've really done a good job of flipping that script, maybe making up for not such a great heat yesterday. I mean, I'm not going to speak to that. Maybe they had an awesome race and did what they had to do to get into this AB semifinal. But right now, Bowdoin continuing to hold on to the lead, and we'll see what Colorado has in this third 500. In third, it will continue to be Northeastern. They are followed by Vanderbilt, and then Washington State, and finally Florida. As they come into a little bit better view, we'll see if any of that placement has changed. We'll come back in just a minute with the update. All right, just past the last 500 meters here, approaching the final 250. Bowdoin continuing to hold on to the lead, but Colorado winding it up here. We'll see again who has that most effective sprint. Top three boats will advance to the grand finals. So again, sometimes the strategy is just to do your job. Do what you need to do to get into the final that you want to get into. Of course, you want to challenge for the better lane placement. This race right now seating from the inside lanes out. And right now it is Bowdoin and Colorado doing a great job pushing each other down this race course and pushing themselves most likely into that grand final. And indeed, Colorado doing a really nice job here with their sprint. They have pulled even with Bowdoin. Third, it continues to be Northwestern. So Northwestern with quite a bit of open water on either side of them as they approach their final strokes. But here it is, Colorado overtaking Bowdoin. Bowdoin has led from the very start of this race, but Colorado patient and composed. Again, that's what Whitney and I had been talking about. The difference sometimes between the novice crews and the varsity crews is composure. And we're seeing that here with that Colorado boat. So Colorado with the win, followed by Bowdoin, and now here comes Northeastern. Sorry, that would be Northwestern. Northwestern in third, Vanderbilt with the fourth place position. Washington State, and then finally Florida. So that wraps up the women's varsity 4 semifinals. We'll see 3 of those boats move into the grand final. The remainder move on to the petites. Next up, the men's varsity 4s. We'll be back with the race call in just a minute.